everyone, it's Rachel here. I am just going to make a quick little video. This is my final one. It's actually a fourth video to do with assessments, and I just wanted to show you how it's probably more linked to a little bit more planning, but just how when I do my planning, I actually work backwards and start with where I need to assess. Now, this sounds a little bit different to probably what other people have told you, but I found this to be super effective. What I'm going to do is I'm briefly going to show you the last two little templates that I've popped in here helped with planning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate planning basically in how I set up my assessment. So I'm going to be focusing on, I will show you, I've already gone to the ACARA website. This is what I've already downloaded, and I've highlighted what I'm going to be doing for assessments. Now, this is something I do, and in the last video that I've made, I show you how to get access to these. I'll show you how to do it quickly again. So you're accessing the sequence of achievement for Foundation Year 6. Now, this is how I start basically. I look at the different things I'm going to be assessing in Term 1, and I choose what I'm going to be focusing on. So I've selected these ones for Term 1. This will be Term 2, and I've actually left 3 and 4 because I'll be working with my friends inside teaching. Sorry, I call them friends, my teacher buddies, to see what else that we'll be planning for down the track. And this can also change, so sometimes I can incorporate it. So we have tried in the beginning of the year when we do plan, I'll actually allocate all of it right through to Term 4, and that's fine if you guys stick to that. We found just by doing half-yearly planning a little bit more successful, because if we don't get all this covered, then we then print this out and redo it and make sure it's part of Term 3 and 4. So we just adjust it halfway through. That's just something that we do. So what I've done is I've jumped over on the ACARA website here already. So here is the document I'm talking about. This is what we're going to be planning. So what I do is, let me go back to the website. So you go to Foundation, to the curriculum here, click on Mathematics. If you go down here and click on Understanding How Mathematics Works, go over to your PDF documents, and it's this one here, Sequence of Achievements. That gives you this document. That's the one that I've printed out. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I will show you when it comes to assessments. Now, this is where I'm focusing my assessments, and I'm simply highlighting to show the direction I'm going in. Now, I'm starting backwards because this is where I want the students to end up. Okay, this is what I have to assess and report on. So the sequence of achievements is going to help you with your assessments. Now, the scope and sequence, when you're over here looking at this part, so the sequence of content, or scope and sequence, is a little bit old school, but that's what we call it. That helps you with your step-by-step, so all your different curriculum steps that will help you get to your sequence of achievements, and it helps with your planning. So that being said, where is my document? Here it is here. So this is my assessment organizer. So what I would be doing is, depending on how long I want to focus each, or how long I've planned each of these to cover, I will show you what I've done in a planning tool. This is going to be a little bit further down the track, but this is what I use for my planning tool. So I have two different types of planning tools. So this is what I want them to achieve, and this is the level they're at. And how do I know that? If I go back to their document, you'll see here, they'll be using the 4 operations for a range of strategies when they're doing problem solving. And over here it says the students solve simple purchasing problems. So that's where I've got that information from, and that's where they are. This is where I want to take them. And what I do is I jot down each of the steps either side of my timeline here that's going to get them closer to this learning goal over here. Okay, so I can do this freehand. I print these out and we do these freehand. We actually I'd take them to my meetings, or when I'm doing any brainstorming with everybody in meetings, that's what I do. I print and write all these out here. If you like to box it and think you can try and condense it into 6 sessions, you can adjust this in the editable section if you wanted to add or remove these. 6 seems to be a good number because you allow for your assessment to see where they are. You might double up and take 2 or 3 sessions on each of these ones, and then you have in your final week assessment. So over a 10-week period, I find planning at least 6 big learning goals, which are stepping stones to achieving this. So taking the students from solve simple purchasing problems. So expose the students to more complicated purchasing problems with positive and minus So addition and subtraction. Learn the orders of operations in simple number sentences, and boosting the recall skills of multiplication and division facts. So being able to reverse multiplication facts with ease and recalling the facts is going to help them. Learning the order of operations with complex number sentences. So you're actually increasing the difficulty here. Exploring simple number sentences for operations, so creating problems. So each of these are a stepping stone to the next skill. And so what you're doing is you're building upon your bridging in the gap of learning from this point to this point by introducing slightly more difficult concepts and new skills that they can then build on. And as you notice, I can put here learn. So you've got to do some teaching, and then you do some exploration, and then you let them investigate, and then they're applying their knowledge. So they're the types of lessons that you need to be creating, and this is your stepping stone. So this is where you do your quick planning, and then what you would do is you can put it into your lesson plate template. Now you can break all this up into the right sections if you want, or the other way you can do it, I have got the planners here. So learning area planner. So this might be, and you can put the title up here. This is for 10 lessons, and you can see over it's a whole term, and you got your reflection time at the end. So if you wanted to use that template there, you can. I've created the whole document to be quite flexible, and you can, choose each one that you would like to do. There's a literacy planner. I also have a numeracy planner, so you can actually do the same thing instead of planning it up in that wider one. So the other way that you can do this is through literacy stations and actually plan the different lessons that you've come up with stepping stones down here, particularly if you're looking at doing some exploration and investigation and allowing the student to sort of figure out the answers and then report back to the class and share their findings. That's a really good opportunity to do that in your rotations area. So that is how I use that template, but how I find that to be productive is that you're starting with the end goal in mind, and then what you're doing is you're heading back to and then linking to the curriculum. So if I go here and I go sequence of content, so then you will go back and you'll line up, and you're in year 5. So looking at all the different curriculum codes that will line up with all the work that you're doing. So you'll find that there'll be a lot that will actually overlap, and you go right through the entire set of curriculum to line up to your goals. So I hope that tip was helpful and you understand the strategies involved, but I find it really, really useful when I start with the end goal in mind, and then I jot down all the stepping stones. And this is where you do a lot of brainstorming with the teachers in your year levels as well. And so all the students are getting a similar experience across the year, but obviously being taught with the flexibility that you're using yourselves as teachers inside the classroom. So I'd love to hear your feedback. If you enjoy these tools, feel free to download the planner at any time. I am updating the planner. We're up to 65 slides at the moment, and I'll be adding some new ones soon. So this is a growing bundle, so no matter what time you actually purchase this, you'll have access to it forever. So jump in, download the copy that's been updated, and you can get access to the new tools, and there'll be new videos coming soon. So make sure you jump over on the Boost website, wherever I've got it. Let me bring it up so you'll have access to all the new videos. If I scroll down the very bottom here, you'll see there's 4 there at the moment, or there's 3, I'll have to update. So there's 4 there at the moment when you go live, and you'll be able to see extra ones down there. So look forward to hearing your feedback, and I'd love to see how you do some organizing in your class or how you see that works.